Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. We are going to jump right into the presentations, starting with Annie. I am going to spotlight you so everyone can see you as you're talking. And I'm going to stop talking so we can hear from you. It's all
Okay.
yours.
So this is my program introduction presentation. I am doing mine at the behavioral health unit out of Tewksbury and Billerica. So my internship site is called the behavioral health unit, and there are 5 different towns which it serves, including Billerica, Chelmsford, Tingsboro, Tewksbury, and Dracut. I am based out of either Tewksbury or Billerica, depending on the day. So like Tuesdays, I'm usually in Tewksbury, and Thursdays, I'm usually in Billerica. The mission statement of the BHU is our commitment is to serve our communities and provide direct connection to behavioral health and substance use services in a whole person, trauma informed way. Our focus is on supporting you, the community. Our approach to this is 3-tiered: prevention, crisis response, and recovery. Programming in these key areas provide access to clinical staff, peer support, and educational opportunities to all members of the communities we serve, regardless of insurance, socioeconomic status, gender identity, sexual preference, age, race, and there's no requirement that you are police involved. The population that my internship site serves is pretty much anyone who finds themselves in need of a mental health or substance abuse services, but they're not only limited to those. Usually in like the 5 towns that it serves, but it could be more. The roles of my supervisors include outreach calls, co-responses, filing reports, and attending to the aid of those in crisis. Amanda Grant is one of my supervisors. She grew up in West Roxbury. She has a bachelor's degree in psych from UMass Boston and a master's degree in psych from William James College, and she works directly with the Billerica Police. Nico Samoa is another one of my supervisors, and he has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from UMass Lowell, as well as a master's degree in criminal justice, also from UMass Lowell, and a master of education in mental health counseling from Cambridge College. And he works directly with the Tewksbury and the Dracut Police. My roles as the intern is to file many mental health related reports, as well as do outreach calls and help my supervisors when they are in need. I have responsibilities of respecting the individuals we help and simply observing what my supervisors do. I chose this internship because I've always wanted to help those in need while also being able to use the criminal and the law kind of background of things. I find everything about psychology and criminology to be very closely related. So I thought that this would be like the best fit for me due to the fact that I'm a psych major and a criminology minor. Um, I wanted, I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a therapist or a police officer or something in law enforcement. So this is kind of helping me to be able to see the differences between the two, even though I do think they are like one and one. Um, some challenges that I have faced while being here um, is kind of being in a police department setting and seeing and hearing everything that goes on there, as well as still having to show up to the internship, even when my head supervisor was relocating to a new job. So no one was kind of really sure where I was supposed to be at a point. It was all very like back and forth and a lot of downtime since everyone was really readjusting. A challenge that other students would face might actually being able to get this internship. And I say that because my head supervisor, who I originally was in contact with about getting this role, has left the position. So I'm not sure if this is still going to be an option in the future, but I can definitely check on that if like other students in the future want to do what I'm doing. What I like the most is how including and respectful everyone has been to me, and how understanding and kind the people are, and also being able to see what I want to do in the future without being pushed to. They do ask me like if I'm going to go to grad school, if I'm going to get a job, and I don't really know, and they're like respecting that. I also enjoy seeing the law enforcement side of things in relation to the psychological side. And I ask a lot of questions every day without kind of being judged. So that's obviously good. Um, and then that is the end of my presentation.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, we've got Haley.
Can you see my presentation? Okay. So I am going to the Manchester by the Sea Police Department for my internship, and their mission statement is that their goal is to provide the best service to residents and the community, and to treat all citizens in an honest and open and ethical manner. So in the town, there's around 5,000 residents, which includes families, seniors, and visitors. And a lot of the residents are well educated and work professional jobs. So the chief of police, is responsible for the general direction of the police force and their day-to-day operations. And then the lieutenants oversees everyone like sergeants, detectives, and police officers. Um, and then the sergeants oversee everyone under them. The detective division is responsible for investigating severe cases that go on in the town. And the patrol division is responsible for taking emergency calls and helping people around the town. And then the school resource officer is responsible for the safety and security within the schools. And they also provide some type of therapy to the students there. And then there's reserve officers, which are similar to the patrol division, but they work part-time. And then my supervisor is a sergeant there, who has a bachelor in criminal justice and a minor in psychology. And he's worked there for 10 years and he's been a sergeant for 5. My role as an intern is to participate in ride-alongs, shadow officers or detectives in mental health calls. Um, I've been taught how to write mental health reports and just regular basic reports. And I engage with the community and I help complete mental health forms. And I chose this specific site because I worked for this department over the summer as a parking officer. So I was familiar with the town, the station, and everyone who worked within the station. And then it also made sense because I'm a criminal justice and psychology major. So I'm interested in the mental health aspect of law enforcement. Some successes is that I've made positive professional relationships within the police department. Um, and there's been a lot of communication with diverse populations within the town, specifically when I'm on ride-alongs. And I've gained a lot of knowledge on how to handle different types of conflicts within the town. Some challenges is language barriers. Like when I was on a ride-along once, when we pulled someone over for a traffic stop, um, the driver spoke a different language, so the police officer had to use Google Translate to communicate with him. And then I've also experienced different mental health crises and medical events, which have made it difficult to disconnect at the end of the day. And that's it.
Great. Thank you. All right. Abby, you are up next.
Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay. So my internship or my intern site is Coaching for Change. So sorry, I just can't see it. Okay. Their organization is based in Taunton, Massachusetts, but the school that you are located in can vary to all different locations. So I'm at Henry Oliver Middle School in Lawrence, but they also work with schools all over Massachusetts, specifically in New Bedford and Fall River area, Boston area, north of Boston, and then also in Rhode Island. Their mission statement is empowering college students to ignite change for the next generation. And their population that they work with is K through 12 students in high need, low income communities with diverse populations, providing academic and social emotional support. So the roles of the staff is there's a college coordinator, a recruiter that is usually who helps recruit the college students to then become the mentors. There's officers, they are the main runners of the organization and kind of work behind the scenes. Program directors are they organize everything and oversee the program as well. And supervisors work directly with the district leaders and principals of the school that you're at to create a support plan for the students and mentors in their area. So the role of the intern is you're called a college mentor and you are placed in the school best for you based on location or just where if you have a preference, if you know the area, and you provide guidance, encouragement, support, and role modeling to the students you're working with, academically, behaviorally, and emotionally. They all come into place when working with the kids. And eventually, you are placed with your own group of students to build those goals with them to progress on as the school semester or year goes on. And again, that's the same three academically, behaviorally, and emotionally. I chose C for C because it gave me an opportunity to work with kids who need more support than others might need. I want to be a child psychologist. This gave me that opportunity to help them in all different types of ways, whether that's in an academic atmosphere or talking to them separately and whatever help they need. Even though none of the Coaching for Change workers are specifically at the school with you, you still have that support of them, and they are very supportive virtually and also make time to come to the schools to visit you in case you need help with anything. Some challenges of my experience so far is I think you would just want to make sure to find out everything about the school you're placed at before committing to it, for if there's language barriers, I had issue with parking, just kind of, and I didn't find out about the dress code until right before, kind of just everything that could fall into a place of daily working there, and also being prepared for a good amount of paperwork and deadlines for the internship. And what I like about it is that Coaching for Change gives their mentors um, a lot of support, whether it's virtually or when they come to school, whatever you need. And they help a lot with the planned out schedule and providing training so that you don't walk into it not knowing what you're doing at all. So I think it is definitely a great internship. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Thank you. All right. Katie, you are up next.
Okay, so my internship was the Recreational Education Center. It's in Peabody, but there are also other locations in Londonderry and Chelmsford. Um, the REC's mission statement is that it is a comprehensive program and resource for families with individuals ages 2 to young adult with autism and related special needs. The center is designed to provide a safe, nurturing, functional, and engaging experience 7 days a week, 359 days a year. All programming is based on the principles of applied behavioral analysis and customized for each individual based on a comprehensive initial assessment. The REC is designed to provide continuity of programming and bridge gaps in services that individuals with special needs require. So, like the little blurb said, the REC is for individuals between the ages of 2 and 22. And all individuals that come in to the REC have a diagnosis with autism spectrum disorder, and then mostly they'll have another accompanying diagnosis like developmental language disorder. The roles of the interns and the different ones at the REC, they're the BCBAs, which stands for Board Certified Behavior Analysts. They have finished their master's program in behavior analysis and kind of oversee the making and executing of the client's behavioral and treatment plan. My site supervisor is a BCBA. Her name is Yvonne. She's the point person for questions about executing the treatment. She meets with families, run tests, and she makes the final decisions on therapy for her clients. And then the behavioral analyst, most of these are on track to become the BCBAs. A little side note, all the ones that work at the REC, they're in this kind of cohort program at Endicott. So I'd suggest that if you are into this, into ABA therapy, want to pursue that, the REC provides a payment plan for this Endicott cohort program. So you can get your master's in behavioral analysis. And then if you keep on working at the REC, they'll pay it off within, I think, 4 or 5 years. And then the behavioral technicians, which is part of my role as an intern, they execute the instructed ABA therapy and record data during their one-on-one sessions with the clients. They also do graphing and data charting. Kind of like I said, the role of the intern, what I didn't know going into this internship, but it was pretty exciting, is that they'll train you to become a behavioral technician on top of your internship. So within 2 weeks, I had completed my training, and they can have you work one-on-one, 2 clients a day, and you record the data and do the treatment. So some days I do that, and some days I do the more internship-based administrative work, which is data charting, prepping for materials for clients, or filing daily communication notes. Why I chose this, I want to be a child psychologist or a therapist. This internship really allows me to directly learn about ABA therapy and apply it one-on-one. It also provides training for behavioral analysis, and everyone at the REC is super supportive. There's a huge chain of command, and they're all always meeting with you. Like I said, my site coordinator, Yvonne, she checks in with me every week, which is really nice. Some challenges at the REC. It's a very hands-on internship that works directly with children and young adults with autism and who are in need of ABA therapy. On any given day, there are behaviors that, if not correctly de-escalated, can become physically dangerous. And then you also work one-on-one with clients working on natural environment teaching during their leisure play, and discrete trial training, which is physical, social, communication, and behavioral application of therapy. And what I like most about the REC is the challenges. It's very hands-on, gives an idea of what working with kids with autism would look like. And the kids are really nice. They're super sweet, and they make me look forward to going in to the REC. And this other staff are very motivated for working with the kids, and they love the kids just as much, which makes the environment feel very connected. And that's it.
Great. Thank you. All right. Amelia, you are up next.
Let's see. Can you see it?
No, not yet.
Can you see it?
Yes.
So I'm doing my internship at Hannah Dustin Healthcare Center. So the facility is a skilled nursing facility and it is located at 126 Monument Street in Haverhill, Mass. So the mission statement for this facility is to provide high quality long-term nursing and subacute care to provide residents and patients lead functional and doable lives. So the population includes elderly individuals. They're often age 65 and older, but if younger residents come in that need therapy, they can come in. So some of the important staff roles in the facility is a nurse. So nurses provide comprehensive medical care, managing medications. Then there's CNAs, which is a certified nursing assistants who assist residents with daily activities such as bathing, dressing, and eating. The administrator, there's always an administrator at a nursing home or a skilled nursing facility. So the administrator oversees the overall operation, ensures compliance with regulation, and manages staff. The activities director plans, organizes, and implements recreational and therapeutic activities for the residents. And the licensed social worker, which is my supervisor, she provides emotional support, counseling, and resource coordination for residents and their families, helping them to address social, emotional, and psychological needs while promoting overall well-being. So my supervisor, I'm actually very grateful for her. She's great. So her name's Jessica Prescott. I also put in her LinkedIn. So Jessica began her academic journey at Bentley University, where she earned a BA in behavioral science. She then pursued her passion for social work by obtaining a master's degree from UNH. Professionally, she served as the service coordinator at Harborside Adult Day Health Center before transitioning to a role as social worker at Oxford Rehab and Healthcare Center, where she continued to make a meaningful impact in the lives of her clients. Since March 2023, Jessica has been serving as a social worker director at Hannah Dustin, where she excels in her role and demonstrates exceptional leadership and commitment to her team and clients. So, internship overview. So, my roles and responsibilities are assessing resident social and emotional needs, developing individualized care plans, planning discharge care plans, conducting brief mental health check-ins with residents, and submitting information into the medical data sets. Why this internship? I've worked at a nursing home for 5 years and I've developed a deep appreciation for the diverse environment, and I love making connections with all the residents. Some positives about this internship: making a real difference in the lives of residents and providing emotional support. Working with residents and their families helps you develop strong communication and empathy skills. Some negatives are working with elderly individuals can be very emotionally taxing, and you may encounter difficulties communicating with residents who have cognitive impairments. I also went on the website for this facility and found a patient testimonial just to show like how good the environment at this facility is. So it says, due to the kindness and attentiveness of the caregivers and specialists at Hannah Dustin, my mom was able to feel comfortable and cared for very quickly after moving in. And that's it.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see if I can figure out how to stop sharing it.
Perfect. All right. Brenna, you are up next.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Alrighty. So I decided to do my internship this semester in the SCAN lab here at Merrimack College. And SCAN stands for Social Cognition and Affective Neuroscience. Oh. Sorry. Okay. So the mission statement on the website for the lab is that our research broadly examines the mechanisms by which behaviors, emotions, and memories can be altered by our past experiences or external/internal factors and can be improved by interventions. And the population that we research in the lab is from ages 18 to 35 who have experienced an MTBI, or also known as a concussion. The purpose of this research is to hopefully establish a correlation between sleep, emotion regulation, and concussions in order to advance the knowledge and treatment for these patients in the future. I'm sorry, it's being weird, like, to skip to the next slide. Oh, okay, I understand now. So there's a couple of different studies within the Scan Lab, and I only really touch upon a couple of them that I'm involved in. If you go on their website, there are even more that you can become involved in, but these are just some of the ones that I oversee. So first is Reset Impact, and this study focuses on the relationship between sleep, emotion regulation, and concussions. And so Reset stands for regulation of emotion and sleep extension post TBI, and then Impact stands for impairment of effective cognition post TBI. And so these two like components are each overseen by a different professor, but they're like combined into one study, if that makes sense. And then another study is Inspire. And then to get all my internship hours, I'm going to be helping with another peer's senior thesis research. So she kind of has the reign on that, but I'm just there to kind of aid in collecting data and give any helpful pieces of advice or maybe aid her a little bit with the research. And the study investigates if slow breathing, specifically in this study, the box breathing technique is used to see if it's an effective way to improve emotion regulation on an acute level. And INSPIRE stands for Investigation of Slow-Paced Inhalation for the Regulation of Emotion. And like I mentioned before, there are many other studies that can be found if you look up like Scan Lab Merrimack College, the website should pop up. And then the people that supervise me are two amazing professors that I'm sure you all know. Professor Kurtzel is Associate Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience and co-pi of Scan Lab. And so she's in charge of that sleep lab aspect of the study. And I also didn't include it in the presentation, but her educational background includes she got a Bachelor of Science in Zoology, a master's in animal behavior, and then a PhD in neuroscience. So I feel like she really is the epitome of like, you can kind of take any which way turn with any degree that you have. And then Professor Seichik is in charge of the eye tracking aspect of this study. And she got her bachelor's in psychology, a master's in psychology, and also her PhD in psychology. What I do specifically as an intern in the lab, my main like responsibility is collecting data for Reset Impact, and this includes implying an EEG cap, and that's part of like the sleep lab aspect of the study, conducting a test called frontal alpha asymmetry, and then I run through the eye tracking device. And this basically displays a bunch of negative images to the participant, and this technology tracks where on the image their eye looks. And so then this is all super helpful data for Professor Kurtzel and Professor Seichik, and they analyze both the data from the EEG cap and the data from the eye tracking device and use that to kind of come up with something from the study. And then I don't really have much that I do yet with Inspire. That's kind of being still sorted out with the girls' research and Kurtzel. And then I also attend the weekly lab meeting where we get updates regarding changes to the study or new participants, and then connect with peers on the other studies going on. I think there's about 14 of us that meet every Thursday morning. I could be wrong on that number. And then also in the past, I've reached out to local schools, healthcare offices, and other places in hopes of recruiting concussion patients. And I also have hung up flyers around campus. And then why did I choose it? I started out in this lab as a sophomore, and I applied on Handshake just as a job to get paid. But over time, I started to really love this lab and also becoming super close with Dr. K and Dr. Sejcik. Um, it just really made me want to like continue to help them to get that data because I know how much this study really means to them. Um, and I chose it as my internship because it was something I was comfortable with, and which looking back, I could have definitely chose something else. But for my situation, it kind of just made sense to do something at least on campus. And I knew it would be a good opportunity for me to learn some new skills and figure out other ways in which I can contribute to the lab and the research. So I guess this semester that's kind of looked like a lot of training. Like I guess me being like a trainer and training the new research assistants. So it's cool being able to pass on those skills to other people. And challenges, one of the major challenges is participants that have a concussion. Um, at any given time, this kind of ebbs and flows, whether there are a lot of people that have concussion, not a lot of people. Um, there's a lot of factors to consider, like outside participants, student athletes, there can be scheduling issues. So scheduling those people to come in for the MTBI study is one of the biggest challenges. And then for me personally is just fitting the research into my schedule, but that's kind of like a personal challenge. And then since I haven't been in this lab since fall of last year, it's been a little bit of all this information coming back, but I think that I've had a decent amount of practice since we're like about halfway through the semester now, so I definitely feel a lot better. And yeah, I'm starting to try to kind of just grow in different areas within the study in the lab. And that's it.
Great. Thank you. All right. All right, Rachel, you are up next.
I like won't let me join unless I like quit the Zoom. I don't know why.
Melissa, do you want to share?
What? What?
Melissa can share your presentation and she'll just kind of advance it for you. You can talk through it and she'll share it for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry. Okay. So my internship is at Shed Children's Campus. It's located in Ann Arbor, Massachusetts on 65 Phillip Street. It's right down the street from Merrimack. Um, So our mission statement at SHED is curiosity-driven learning. We believe that children are not things to be molded, but people to be unfolded, and that as educators, it is our job and responsibility to nurture a child's innate curiosity and desire to learn. It is our mission to create safe spaces in which every child can thrive. So the population is 3 months old to eighth grade. It's students anywhere from daycare to middle school. So the supervisor role is my supervisor is Dina Hurley. There's a few other supervisors, but this one is my main one. So she works with the staff to create a flourishing educational environment, and she oversees the teachers and students and directs a well-structured program while also dealing with any issues related to the school. And the role as the intern would be I help teachers in creating the nurturing environment, helping with daily activities such as lesson planning and facilitating playtime. And additionally, you'll gain a hands-on experience in early childhood education while observing the developmental aspect of children's learning while supporting the individual needs of each child. I chose this internship because of the opportunity of working in a school setting. After graduating college, I'm interested in being a school psychologist. I knew this internship would be a place that I can gain that experience in a school setting and be able to make the most of it, as it's very flexible. Their mission of helping children to discover their talents, interests, and nature is something that I'm very passionate about, and helping children find their confidence and ability and the knowledge that they learn. There hasn't been many potential challenges at Shed, but I would say any that could be a potential is the ability to get to the campus. And then also another one of mine that's kind of more specific to me, but it could be to anyone, would just be telling your directors exactly what you want, because they will be able to give that to you. And I learned that from actually just telling them that I needed something more, and they were able to give it to me, which was really nice that they were flexible for that. What I like most about the internship is what I just said, making it my own internship, such as a lot of internship placements have very specific requirements, but at Shed, they're very flexible and you're able to get exactly what you want out of it by asking for more or less. And I also enjoy the connections I've made with the teachers and students, and the ability to get a sense of how working in a school environment would be like, while also seeing the developmental process of the children in my class. And that's just my works cited.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. All right. Isabella and Kaya, you are up. I'm not sure which one of you is presenting the slides, but
Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. Um, okay, it's being weird. It's not letting me share it.
okay.
I can try. I've also had trouble, so I'm gonna try.
And you did send it to me, so I can certainly share it if you prefer.
That would work. Could you please share it? Mine's doing the same thing that Rachel's was doing. It's like telling me that I need to like leave. I don't even know.
Sure, yeah, let me just get it ready and I will get that going. Okay, I just want to see if I can make this full screen. Okay.
Okay, so me and Bella are both doing our internship with the Crisis Tech Support Line, which is a remote internship for anyone who's interested in that. So the mission statement is the our mission of helping texters in their most vulnerable moments is at the forefront of what we do. Crisis Text Line is committed to providing a healthy and respectful environment for everyone involved in bringing this mission to life. This is a collective effort that thrives off the generosity and commitment of all the staff and volunteers. This code of conduct models the kind of community that we all want to be a part of, a community that centers the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
So basically, there's not really a specific population that we kind of help. Pretty much anyone can come to us when they're like in need of help for any situation at all. Um, and basically you can just like search it up on like online, or we also partnered with the suicide hotline, so you can just text 988 and we will also like be sent to like help you out.
So there are like a few different roles. So the volunteers, which is basically what we would do as like interns, which we are also kind of referred to as like counselors as well. It's just people like us who've dedicated their free time to support the texters. And again, to reiterate the fact that like this is like an internship, you can get it. You have like a support coach. And those are the people who work there and are like in charge of training you and checking in like during your shift if you need that. Um, and yeah, like I know my coach like does try to reach out and so that's pretty helpful. And then we also have supervisors. Um, these are people who aren't there, like they are they're not one specific supervisor. They kind of vary from shift to shift. So it's like if you jump on shift, you kind of get a message that pops up on your screen and it's like, hey, this is your supervisor until 9 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever it might be. And this would be the person that you would reach out to and you'd flag a conversation if you needed help. And that would be the person that would help you during that time.
And then kind of just the rules and like what we're responsible for with our internship and volunteering is obviously you have to complete the training in the time that they give you. The training's only like 8 hours, but it's a lot of reading. So if you're like not fond of reading, like it's definitely going to be a bit of a struggle. You do have to dedicate a minimum of 4 hours a week to the platform. That's what they require. You do have to do more to like 8 to 10 for the actual internship itself. You do have to follow like the training and the safety training. You're given safety assessments that you have to ask in every conversation. And then obviously with that goes flagging a supervisor, if they do answer yes to either of the safety prompts. And then kind of like in the end, you just have to like create a safety plan and kind of like give them the next steps on what they should do in order to like help improve how they're feeling or their situation. And I guess kind of like a little bit on why like I guess probably both of us chose this is mostly for me at least. It's because my first internship didn't actually end up working out. So this was kind of like a good like second option because it was like you kind of just sign up and then they put you in like a training cohort. Um Also just kind of like having a general interest in like crisis intervention. This definitely gives you a good firsthand experience. And then just having it be remote, I'm a commuter, so obviously I don't really have like a lot of time as is. I work like 30 hours a week. So kind of being able to fit this into my own schedule whenever I have time is a great help. Bella probably has a little bit of a different reason.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely for me, the number one thing was it being remote and that like helps just so much with being able to like work with my schedule just because I don't know, I feel like I'm like the kind of person who's just going like all the time. And so like this, it definitely helps to like have something that's flexible. And I totally second that with Kaya, that I definitely have an interest in crisis intervention. And this is definitely a crisis intervention. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely works. So I'm glad that I picked it.
And then just some of the challenges with working with the crisis support line is you do deal with some pretty extreme mental health crises. And I think like definitely I have had like a lot of firsthand experience with that. I think me and Bella have both talked about it a few times and we can agree it's definitely difficult. But your support coaches are there, so definitely like use them when you need it. Getting the training done, like I said, it's a lot of reading. A struggle for me that I found was finding like 8 to 10 hours to like actually do it just because I am so busy. But obviously having it kind of be on like my own terms when I pick up a shift is a lot, like it's a lot of help. And then they do have a minimum requirement for volunteers that you do have to do 200 hours of volunteer work, opposed to like the 80 to 100 you need for an internship for the class itself. So if you're not really willing to like continue doing this after your internship or just like really like go crazy with the hours, I probably wouldn't recommend this one. And then supervisors can also be an issue. I know I've had a few problems with supervisors who are like not the most helpful in certain situations. So kind of just like being like expectant that they might not always have the answer or they might be a little bit pushy when it comes to certain situations. And then like I already kind of said, like I like that it's a remote internship and that you create your own schedule and then just kind of being there for people when they need it is like it kind of gives you like a sense of pride, especially when you're done with like a really difficult conversation and then you like you know you helped them and you're like, "Oh, like I actually feel good about myself." So that's probably like my number one thing that I like about this placement.
Yeah, I totally agree with Kaya, in the sense that like it definitely gives you a sense of pride. Like I said, like knowing that like someone's in a really, really awful moment or what could be like one of the worst moments that they've experienced in a long time, that is like really fulfilling to know that like you are helping them through that. That definitely helps a lot, and that can be like a pretty big reward in itself.
Great. Thank you both. All right, Blake, you are up next.
Can you guys see that all right?
Oh, hold on. It's still loading. Oh, there it is.
All right. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Blake Hickey. My internship is with Elliot's Clubhouse program. Um, okay, general information. So it's the organization is Elliot's Renaissance Club. The location is in Lowell, Massachusetts, and the address is 176 Walker Street on floor 2. So Elliot's Clubhouse program mission statement is they are guided by compassion and respect, and Elliot's mission is accomplished by responding to the needs and diversity of the individual served, providing comprehensive services that are individualized, accessible, educational, and strengths-based, delivering high-quality, evidence-based programming, as well as valuing, enriching, and partnering with our staff, our clients, and communities. Population served are adults with mental illnesses in greater Lowell and surrounding towns. They send out a van to pick up members that are in Lowell, but those that are in surrounding towns need to transport themselves there. And then the individuals may have bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, and so on. The role of staff members. So John Curtin is the Renaissance Club program manager. So he is who I spoke with in person about myself interning there. And once he like said that he was happy to have me join them for the semester, he's who I spoke with about figuring out my hours and the days I would be working. Narissa McCormick is the director of clinical development for Elliott Community Human Services. She is who I initially reached out to when applying for internships. And she got me, like, she told me a bit more about the Renaissance Club and got me in contact with John. And also, she was the one in charge of sending out my training and sending all the paperwork that I needed to complete. And then the staff, they work with members to help achieve their goals and to create a supportive environment where members can thrive. So not only do the staff assist the members with completing their tasks for the day, but they do offer the help with the members finding employment and educational services and all that. So that's a big thing for them. In the role of an intern, I just work with members to help them achieve their goals and to create a supportive environment where members can thrive. So pretty much just go over there for the day and then kind of tag along with one of the members and assist them with completing their tasks that they were given for the day, whether it's just cleaning the bathrooms, like sweeping the floors or anything like that, as well as any personal things that they might be doing throughout the day. So why I chose the Renaissance Club, the clubhouse is a clinical setting. A goal of mine is to be a therapist after I'm done with school. So I've been always wanted to work in the clinical field for psychology, and yeah. And then they provide service to mentally ill adults. This was a population that I had interest in serving, and there is lots to learn. So not only do I get to help people, but I get to learn more about an individual's disorder and how it affects them in the real world. And they are also flexible with my schedule, so I was able to choose my own hours and the days that work best for me to work. And then some challenges, you do have to be 21, so those with a late birthday, you're kind of put in a bad spot because, yeah, you have to be 21. So I was stuck waiting a while for the internship to start. And then you do need to be able to drive there from Merrimack. It's about a 25 to 30-minute drive. It just depends on traffic. But yeah. And what do I like? The staff at the Renaissance Club are very kind and understanding. And also the members are very kind. They were very excited to get to know more about me on my first day. And then I get to help individuals. And yeah, that's it. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to always reach out.
Great. Thank you. All right. And John.
Sorry, it's not giving me the option to share. Well, let me try it one more time.
And I'm happy to do it too if that's easier.
Okay. Wait, okay. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is John McLaughlin, and this is my program presentation. I'm a mentor for the first year experience program here at Merrimack. So the agency that I work for, the larger organization, is Merrimack College, and specifically I work for the first year seminar program. So Merrimack is located on 315 Turnpike Street in North Andover, and specifically the first year seminar program. Kind of the base of locations is the third floor of the McQuaid Library here on campus. So Merrimack College's overall mission statement is our mission is to enlighten minds, engage hearts, and empower lives inspired by the Catholic faith and the Augustinian tradition of seeking truth through inquiry and dialogue. And I would say the first year seminar experience mission more specifically, is building community and seeking bonds through inquiry and and dialogue. So the population specifically, the specific program I work for, solely works with first year undergraduate students coming into Merrimack. And that also applies for transfer students. So if it's your first year come or being here at Merrimack, then you will be part of my population. So some of the program roles. So the three main administrators that oversee the professors, mentors, um, and struggling students. So there's kind of three main coordinators, um, and so these people oversee all of the various professors and mentors, as well as tap in with specific students who have various issues or are kind of falling behind, as well as running their own class. They're also responsible for running a week of training before the semester starts in the summer, as well as weekly trainings for mentors and weekly check-ins for professors as well. So the administrators are also our point people for any issues we have in the class, as well as being responsible for any students who are issued a care report or academic alert. So as well as making sure we're okay, they're also checking in on students and making sure that if any students have issues, that they're being um, helped and they're put on a good path, a good path. And they also plan curriculum as well as certain DEI and out of class community building events. So some of the intern or mentor roles that I personally carry out. So I have to meet with my professor and my co-mentor, who also helps teach the class with me once a week, as well as go to weekly training sessions, plan and execute community builders at the start of every class. We also lead discussions on the latest assignment or reflection that they have to do. And we split the class up and we do daily discussions and reflections. As we also have to send weekly emails for reminders and updates. And generally just kind of be a resource for the students, that they know that they can ask questions or come to us if they have any help or if they have any issues or need some help. Um, so my personal experience, the reason why I wanted to join this program, I come from a family of a lot of teachers and thought that this would be a good experience for me to kind of get out of my comfort zone a little bit in front of a class, even though it's not specifically related to psychology. Um, I thought it was a really good opportunity to kind of get in front of people and kind of have that experience. It also gives me an opportunity to help generate the similar positive experience that I had with the class when I was a freshman. I met a lot of great people, and I really kind of liked, and it really helped me kind of transition in that first few weeks. So I wanted to kind of give that same experience. Um, and so some of the potential kind of struggles, um, as the program has completely changed from last year, it's a whole new program. There has been some issues with payment, which potential new interns could kind of expect. There's some kind of new kinks that are kind of still being worked out. However, administrators do work very closely and advocate very much for the mentors. So kind of just a couple more points. Some more challenges is that potential interns might find it difficult with the lack of engagement from some of your classes. You really kind of have to work for it, and sometimes they don't always, give you the attention that you kind of, always want. But it's part of the job, and you kind of just have to be flexible and patient, and just kind of keep chugging along. Um, and finally, my favorite aspect of this internship is how I can kind of firsthand see the growth from the first few weeks where they don't really talk to anybody in the class and they're kind of nervous or shy and they don't really know what's going on, till the end of the semester where they're confident and they know what they're doing and they're on top of their classes and they've made bonds and relationships in the class, and it's really cool to be a part of that experience. Um, so yeah, that's my presentation.
Great. Thank you. So, one question I would love to put out to everybody before we are done officially is if there's anything that you would tell other students who are thinking about or looking for internships, any advice you would give them about anything. just anything you either did or wish you knew or wish you did or wish you didn't do or something you're glad you did. Anything that you would tell a student who's currently kind of where you were before the semester started or 6 months ago.
It
Yeah.
can be so easy to procrastinate finding an internship, but don't drag your feet. Do not drag your feet. Like, don't let yourself be like, oh, I have time, I have time, I have time. Because I find myself in those kinds of situations all the time. And I know whoever's going to listen to this definitely will too. So don't drag your feet. Try your best not to procrastinate. It can be so hard, but it's going to work out for you in the end. If you just, there's no better time than right now. Just do it.
Perfect. I love that. I'm just gonna like pull that clip and put it on repeat for everybody if that's looking for an internship right now.
Good.
Anything else? What else would people say for
I
people?
I would say I think it's important to kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit. This is your opportunity to try something new. It's not going to be, it might be your whole career, but most likely your first internship will not be your entire career. So, if you think you know what you want to do something a little bit different to kind of get out of that comfort zone and kind of test yourself a little bit, because that's really when you kind of will hone in on what you really want to do, I think.
Awesome. Perfect. Both good sound bites. Okay, these are great. I also like that I've said both of these things to students. So I love hearing things that I've said. It just reiterates that when they've blocked the words that I've said out, they'll hear it from you and listen. So this is great. What else? Anything else? Any other words of wisdom? You're living it right now, or about um things to do while you're doing an internship, things that you're like, this has been helpful for me. This is something I need to do better. That's helpful too. Anything along those lines. Yeah, Blake.
Well, for the first question, like some advice for the students would be definitely apply to multiple internships in places. Even just the process of interviewing and all that and reaching out to different places is very good. It'll help you now and for the future. And also do not jump on like the first opportunity that comes your way, as there are multiple opportunities out there, and you might just have to wait a bit longer for the right one that's for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like the best thing to do is have more opportunities and more options. And you're right, you're going to be out there interviewing and applying when you graduate. So it's just really great experience to know what it's like. And it's not that different than what you experience with this process, for better or worse. So it's good to know kind of what the challenges are going to be. Anything else? Yeah.
I would say don't feel scared to ask a lot of questions, especially when you're first applying or interviewing, because you don't want to end up in a situation where people are expecting different things than what you're expecting the internship would be like. And then with that, don't be afraid to be like, hey, like this isn't for me.
Absolutely. I can't agree more with that. That's a really great point because I think that the more you know about it, the less surprised you'll be and the um more you'll look forward to it and you won't be disappointed in what's going on. Um and you're interviewing the site as much as they're interviewing you and you have choices. So, absolutely. All right. Anything else? Good. Well, thank you all so much. It was so great to hear about what you're doing. I love hearing about all your experiences, and I appreciate you sharing that. There'll be lots of people watching and learning, so it makes a big difference for all of the students that are going to be applying for internships, and it's really helpful for them. So thank you so much.